So, Australians, how do you go about GST applicability when it comes to export of goods and services? In this video, we will specifically address the GST taxation of export of services, but we will also touch GST on export of goods here and there. First of all, let's clarify what constitutes Australia and what doesn't. So, this is Australia, but there are certain external territories like Norfolk Island, Christmas Island, Cocos Keeling Island, Coral Sea Island, and like, which are Australian territories but not Australia, meaning every time you supply goods or services to those territories from Australia, it will be considered an export. So, generally speaking, goods or services exported out of Australia are GST free, but there is always that but, because nothing comes without preconditions. As for goods, exported goods are GST free if they are exported within 60 days of either when the supplier receives payment for goods or the supplier issues invoice for the goods, whichever is earlier. Suppliers can also request an extension of 60 days period. There is, however, an exception to the 60 days rule, which is for new boats sold for private recreational use if the boat is exported from Australia within 12 months. In other words, the 60 days become 12 months in case of export of private recreational boat. As for services, if you are providing services to a client in a foreign country and you are doing so from Australia, then this is called export of services. So the basic rule is export supply of services is GST free if the recipient of service is outside Australia and use of the service is also outside Australia. So, for example, if you've built a software or SaaS, which is software as a service, with subscription model where you charge your subscribers on monthly basis, and your software or app, whatever it is being subscribed to and used by subscribers from all over the world, be it Japan, UK, US, the Middle East, or Australia. So if you have a subscriber who uses this service from outside Australia, it will be an export of service and thus no GST will be charged. On the other hand, if the same service is being used by a person sitting in Australia, then this service will not be GST free and 10% GST will be charged and collected.
It is relevant to mention, though, that the service provider must have some way of knowing the the country from which the purchaser or the subscriber is making the purchase and using the service, because he has to differentiate between local services and international or export of services. If there is no way of differentiating between local services and export services, or if there is no mechanism in place for the service provider to know exactly where the service is being purchased from, where it is used from, then all the services that he provides to all the customers and all subscribers will be GST chargeable, because it is assumed that all the services are provided to local customers. So we're going to do one more example, and this example is important and a bit technical, because in this example the payment comes from abroad, but GST is still charged. They are not GST free. So it goes like this: an educational institution provides educational services to overseas students who are currently studying in Australia. Whether or not GST will be charged on these students. Yes, GST is charged, and GST is charged to the parents of the students who are living abroad, and they are making the payment. This is because the agreement has been entered into between the educational institution and the parents or guardian of the students. So just because the payment is originating from outside Australia does not necessarily mean that the services will be GST free. The condition is the one receiving the service must be outside Australia, and the one using the service must also be outside Australia, which in this case is not true, because the students are studying in Australia and the payment is originating from outside Australia. So this was a bit deviation from normal examples. So I hope this clarifies a few things for you.
Bruh.
So this was a general overview of exports, GST on export of goods and services. I hope you liked the video. I hope to see you in future videos. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.